doing the biggest twerk for Arsenal I have ever seen. Peter Odemwingie on transfer deadline day in January was not this bad. The guy's liking every single tweet, but yet his agent was at Stamford Bridge watching Chelsea versus Manchester City in Bowley's box, and more importantly, reports from Sky Sports are coming out that the player does not mind which one he joins as long as the club can agree a deal for £83 million for Mudryk. Yet, this is not the biggest issue at hand. Thuram and Olmo are being linked with the club, and we've got 10 first team injuries. Let's get Welcome to the Kavkas View, guys, and in today's video, like I already give you the rundown, it's an insightful one, it's an interesting one, and it's jam-packed. So get your popcorn, sit down, relax, and watch your favorite YouTube dietitian who's got all the nutrients that you lot need for today when it comes to Chelsea. Other than that, hit the like button. We're aiming for 500 likes, so please, hit the like button. You will forget at the end. Number 2, subscribe to the channel. And number 3, in the pinned comment is my Instagram. Go and follow me there. Hit me up in a DM. I usually respond with questions. But other than that, let's pursue. So let's get into it. Mudryk is the next big thing from Eastern Europe. Ukrainian international, I think he's 20 or 21 years old. Very explosive, very direct. Likes to get shots off, but loves to take a man on. That is all I know about him. Other than that, I know the general statistics. 13 goals in 66 games. He's got a few international caps for the Ukraine, and more importantly, he's played 6 Champions League games in his career. Other than that, I don't know what reason they are asking for £83 million, but Shakhtar are, and purely it is driven by Anthony's deal. They believe Mudryk is a bigger talent than Anthony, and when Manchester United paid €100 million for Anthony, they ruined the market for wingers. It's literally as simple as that. I don't know how Liverpool got Cody Gakpo across the line for €38 million when Anthony went from the same league to Manchester United for €100 million. Doesn't make sense, but forget about that. So how are Chelsea getting tied into this Mudryk saga? Well, number 1, Mudryk has been chased by Arsenal for a while now. Mudryk has made it evident on Instagram that he avidly wants to go to Arsenal. The way this man has been twerking for Arsenal, it's actually criminal that Chelsea are chasing. The man has actively liked posts of himself in an Arsenal kit, edited of course. The man has actually liked a quote where someone says free Mudryk. Then he has been liking other things where it says not Chelsea. Look, granted, this could be fake. The reports are suggesting that multiple of the sources are correct. So the one where it's the free Mudryk and he likes it, and more importantly, the one where he's liking himself in pictures of Arsenal kit. That's real. The not Chelsea one, we don't know whether that's real or not. There's no way of proving that. Other than that, his agent now is very avid that, look, if you want the player, you need to pay Shakhtar the money. Shakhtar want £83 million, which is €100 million, to get the player out of their team into the English club. Arsenal don't want to do that. Arsenal have had 2 bids rejected, and more importantly, they're coming up with a third one, but do not want to get into a bidding war. They have threatened Shakhtar that if they continue to negotiate with other teams, they will walk out. They will not be bidding on a player and rising the price up past the evaluation that they view Mudryk being. Mudryk is being like any normal 20, 21-year-old kid. His dream is about to get taken away from him. So what does he do? He's throwing his toys out the pram. But where did Chelsea tie in? Well, Chelsea apparently believe that, listen, we'll match and go above anything Arsenal offer. We are going to use this as a big, you got the gist, to Arsenal. I don't want to say it because I don't want to get demonetized, and I don't want, to be rude. This is a PG channel. But more importantly, they are very angry, okay? Chelsea said, Arsenal are ahead of us in the league. We're not letting them get ahead of us in the transfer market, and we're not going to let them get stronger. So, if you want him, either pay over the odds or we'll take the player. The rumours are, though, Chelsea will only bid for the player if they get assurances from the player and the player's camp that he wants to join him. They do not want to be humiliated in the context that they agree a fee, the player agrees to join, and all of a sudden, Arsenal rock up, have another bid accepted for the same money, and the player goes, I'm going to Arsenal. So Chelsea have to be very cautious in this situation, and I respect. But I am going to say one. Whilst I agree we need a creative force and we need a direct winger who is a demon, we have bigger problems at hand. I don't think Mudryk is the player that we should be going and spending £83 million on. Genuinely. I think we should be exploring other areas. For example, an attacking midfielder, a defensive midfielder, backup right back, and more importantly, I think people are forgetting the issue. We need centre-back cover. Balotelli is a great sign, but Thiago and Koulibaly can't be playing every game. Unless we're going to start using Trevor Chalobah, we might need another centre-half because next year we're going to be thin once again. So guys, I don't know what's going on here, but I know Chelsea are just trying to stir the pot, and I don't know whether the interest is genuine, but the agent was at Stanford. What is very interesting is that Chelsea are going to be linked with a lot of players coming in the coming days, and a lot of people are going to start hyping these players up. I'm not one of them. I'm not going to lie to you. If I don't like a player, I'll be very honest. And these are two players that we're going to talk about right now that I don't rate either one. I think they're both average players. I think they both are Everton standard players. Everton standard, in my opinion, is not Everton the football club. It's what Everton were. Remember back in the day where they had Pina, they had Cahill, they had Osman. Players that are very good players, right? In that team, they're good. You move them a level up, they're not that good. They're literally average players. So for me, when I look at signings like Olmo and I look at signings like Thuram, for me, they're just average. They're not good enough for Chelsea Football Club, for where Chelsea want to get to. Borussia Mönchengladbach are willing to sell Thuram for £10 million. He's a free agent in the summer. They want any money they can get just to get rid of him. And Chelsea are sniffing around. Reports in Germany are coming out that Chelsea will consider the offer and view this player as a great upside player. What upside have you seen in Thuram? I'm sorry. I've seen Thuram when he first broke out on the scene. He looked decent. Then he had a few years at Gladbach and he's like, I don't see nothing. I saw him at the World Cup again, where I watched him with a good eyelid, where it was literally focusing on his game. The guy is just average. Nothing special. It's a player that we're going to buy now, you're going to be happy with, and in 9 months' time, you're going to say, how the hell do we have Thuram in the squad? He's not good enough. So there's no point just signing him, getting into more FFP issues in the sense that we're just wasting stupid money left, right, and centre, when we can actually use this time, and instead of giving Thuram chances, give Fofana a chance. Fofana has got a good upside. Let's see what he's made. Why do we have to go for the French international that is an average French international instead of a young 19-year-old avoiding kid that you've already spent the money in, you've invested into his future, so now give him a chance to see whether it will work. Number 2, Dani Olmo. Dani Olmo is meant to be Spanish with a nice tic-tac name, and he looks very good on the ball, and ooh, the Olmo's amazing. Look at his compilation. Bruv, I don't want another Hakim Ziyech. I do not want another Hakim Ziyech. You look at Ziyech's compilations, the guy looks like a Ballon d'Or winner. You watch Ziyech play for 90 minutes, you're like, what the hell is he doing on the pitch? The guy is only involved 7 minutes of a 90-minute game. Almost the same. Shoot on sight, cross on sight, couple of nice passes here and there. In once a season or 4 times a season, you make a nice compilation out of it. You're like, right, got a creative demon. Olmo is basic. I'm not saying him and Ziyech are the same type of players before someone jumps on my head. I'm saying the hype around these players. What is the point of going in after a Dani Olmo? You saw what you needed to see from Dani Olmo at the World Cup. He is Asensio, Ferran Torres level play. No individual brilliance, one-off strike into the top corner, doesn't have the acceleration to get away from anyone, very good technically, but at the same time extremely inconsistent, and he's just going to be average for Chelsea. This is a signing that Arsenal of the Wenger era at the end were making. The players that just come in, they look good for 7 hours, 38 games, everyone gets hyped up, big game, crunch, ain't good. Guys, I think we need to go back to the old bread and butter. We need to go to physicality, durability with technical expertise. Once you go back to that level, I promise you, we're going to improve. Until then, we look soft, we look toothless, and we look humble. We look like a team that doesn't belong on a pitch with majority of the teams we play against. And finally, this stat blew my mind. We've got 9 to 10 first team injuries. 9 to 10. And if you look at the players that are injured, and you look at the 10 XL, it is mad. Like, if you actually talk about the XI, you got Mendy in goal. You got a right back of Reece James, no centre back, Fofana, and Ben Chilwell. That is a top four qualification team. You get a good centre half next to that. That's a great back 4. You got in midfield Jorginho and Kante in. You got Mason Mount right next to them. That's midfield 3. After that, you got Pulisic, Sterling, and a striker in. This is mind-boggling to me. Brozier is injured. That's 10 players are in our squad. That 7 of them start, for crying out loud. Fofana, Mendy, James, Ben Chilwell most probably start in this team. And then you start going with Jorginho, Mason Mount, maybe one of them starts. You start looking at N'Golo Kante, definitely a starter. Raheem, definitely a starter. Pulisic and Brozier, maybe off the bench merchant. But we need to sort out this injury problem we have. It's a crisis. A lot of people like, Alex, you're overreacting. What am I overreacting? We got 9 players out, 10 players out, at the same time that are avidly good enough to be in our starting lineup. You're meant to have 4 or 5 injuries at a time. You cannot have 10 of your 25 squad injured at the same time. And then it gets to the point where you're asking Omari Hutchinson to develop his play to start playing for the first team. You start asking for Chukwuemeka. You start asking for Lewis Hall. You start asking for players that are not most probably ready to become ready or drown. You start playing Conor Gallagher on a weekly basis. What the hell's going on here? I'm not going to lose my cool. I'm going to calm down. I really hope Chelsea somehow try a way to figure out what's going on. Whether we're buying injury-prone players, whether it's a training issue, whether this is our coaching staff just not doing the red zone thing. You know how when they use the data science to say whether the player's ready to play or not? I don't know, man. I'm just really frustrated. I'm really confused. We've got Manchester City again tomorrow. Most probably prepare yourself for an L. But I'm hoping they heavily rotate their team. I'm hoping we heavily rotate our team. We get to see some Lewis Hall, some Omari Hutchinson. We get to see a little bit of Chukwuemeka. We get to see some Fofana, hopefully, Batshuayi. And then we can get excited about this. But otherwise, I'm very deflated about the season. I might even make a video on Monday about the targets going forward in this season. Because come Monday, we could be out the FA Cup and literally just have Champions League and the league left. But other than that, guys, 500 likes is what we're aiming for. Hit the like button, subscribe to the channel. See you guys tomorrow. Hopefully it's an upbeat match review.